Welcome to Mother of Mammals podcast with your host, Bria. Today, I'm sitting here contemplating friendship. I think I've spent the last few years saying to people, I don't have many friends. But then when I sit down and I think about it, I actually have loads. I think I have about 7, which is a really big number of friends to have. The friendships that I want to have anyway. Because friendships need maintaining. They need time. With so many other parts of my life, children, work, myself, other family members, to then fit 7 more people into the scheme of things is a lot of people. I have a lot of acquaintances that I like that may develop into a friendship. I've learnt a couple of lessons in the last few years that the amount of time it takes to label someone as a friend, I need to make sure that there is some sort of length to it. Because it does take time to get to know people. You have to know how people are in different situations and different environments. Because I think that there are so many people in life that you can get on with. You can enjoy their company. You can have a laugh. You can kind of help each other out in certain ways. But then people can just do something that will dramatically put me off them. And a lot of the time, it's observing them doing something to someone else. It doesn't involve me whatsoever. And some of the times, it does involve me. Over the last few years, I've realised, my opinion anyway, about people is it's not what they do, it's who they are. Friendships are never going to be perfect. They're not going to run smoothly. But it depends on whether you think this person is worth sorting things out with. And that's what I mean. Everyone's going to have their off moments. They're going to have their times that they don't particularly treat you very well because there's something going on with them. And that's why I think time really does come into it. Because over time you work out maybe what someone's behaviour is about. If they're acting out of the ordinary. And also to go out of your way to kind of pull them up on it. Be like, are you okay? Is something going on? To just check in on them. When you haven't had that time of seeing people in different situations over time, you just don't know what's what. When it comes to friendship, I have very, very high standards. Possibly the highest standards than any other relationship. But I also feel that they're the relationship that I can't live without. Is when things are going wrong with my partner or my children or the rest of my family, that these are the people that I turn to. And I kind of feel like they're the people who know me the most. They know the true me. And so it's really important to, as a person, be comfortable with who you are with the people that you're around. If you're constantly trying to impress or worried about what people think of you, then I think it's really hard to have a true friendship. And that's what makes the difference. I think sometimes when we're looking at romantic, sexual relationships with people, we want to impress. And yeah, you can meet people and you think, oh, I'd really like to be friends with that person. But if your way of going around that is to impress them, then it rarely ends up in a genuine friendship. Mother of Mammals podcast is sponsored by her sister company, Citizen of the World ABC. I've designed a set of beautifully illustrated alphabet cards. Here at Mother of Mammals and Citizen of the World ABC, I believe to have a true understanding of the world around us, we need to be seeing links. For example, to discuss climate change is to discuss xenophobia, capitalism, natives, propaganda, education, questioning, history, justice, activism, voting, war, diversity, trees, immigration, and so on. Purposely printed as cards so each subject can be placed side by side. These are thought-provoking alphabet cards suitable for all ages, so the levels of conversation can be age or stage appropriate. You can purchase a pack from Citizen of the World, abc.com. You'll find the details in the episode notes. I know why my standards are so high. I was raised around friendship. Friendship made a huge life impact to our family. My mum became ill when I was a young child. I only remember little bits of life before she was ill. But this meant a lot of her parenting had to be done through others. She would spend long periods of time in hospital or in her sick bed at home. I have so much to complain about with my family, but her friends and a couple of family members came together to give my mum's children the most normal upbringing that they could have in that situation. We weren't passed from pillar to post, but the pillar and the post came to us. We stayed in our home. We were taken to school. We were taken to see our friends. Kind of everything went on as normal. And this was down to 3 women. Now, these women in particular, one of them was a school friend of my mum's, so I believe that they were friends since they were 11. Another one was a friend from before my mum had children. And another one was a friend that my mum met when she was pregnant with me. So very long-term friendships. They would organise between themselves who would come to be with us, and they would take it in turns. And it wasn't oh, well, I'm free then, so I'll come. It was, I'm going to reorganize my life so that I can be there for these people that are my friends and their children because I love them and I want to be there. They all actually had children themselves and they had partners. So it was like a group effort because these children had to be separated from their mothers for a certain amount of time on a regular basis. The partners would step up to do the childcare of their own children, all so that we could be supported. We were in London. One of them came from, depending on where she was living at the time, Wales or Scotland, which are like different countries. The other one would come from a couple of hours train ride away. and the other one would come from the opposite end of London. So it was never, I'm free, so I'll pop up. They went out of their way. And by this, I saw friendship. So as a child, I always knew what friendship was. And I had incredible friends. I also know myself, and I know how I fit in to society. I'm a one-to-one person. I don't do groups. I never have. If I'm in a group of people, you will find me in a corner, quietly having quite an in-depth conversation with one person. And I've always done that. Since being a child in reception school, I remember doing that and making very, very strong bonds with people. And it was about the intimacy and the being fully in it, fully present in what someone's saying, and them giving the same back to you in return. Such an important relationship in life. Friendships need maintenance. I've fallen out with a couple of people over time, and then we've made it up at a later date. But a very, very important thing is the friendship code. Some people just simply do not have it. They don't understand it in the slightest. If you and I are friends and we've fallen out, then anything that I know about you within that friendship is sacred. I will never share that with anyone. It's private. I guarantee you that. Maybe after we fall out, whatever happens after that, I'll probably talk badly of you. But whatever you have told me within our friendship will always stay there. Remember talking to my sister-in-law, I think when she was about 13, 14, and her with a lot of sass and attitude would say, you know, Bria, your best friend is your worst enemy. You got to watch out for people. And I remember saying to her quite gently, that's not true. Because then they're not your best friend. And you can't move through life like that. It will stop you making friends. I don't know how much she paid attention to that. But right now, with my 7 friends, we keep regular contact. We check in on each other. Some, like 4 or 5 times a day. Others, at least once a week, we get like a whole full-on 4-hour conversation going on. Not going to mention names, but yeah. Thank you for the companies who now do this like working from home thing, because your employers are just spending 4 hours on the phone to me. I say no names. But it's what they could do. It's like, let me work out how I can achieve this, and we'll make sure we get that conversation in. And I can't even really tell you what we talk about. We just chat, 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 chat. Other times, it's like sending memes to people. Like me scrolling through my social media and I saw something and it just had me in hysterical laughter. And that friend came up. So I'll send it to them. That says to them, I'm thinking about you. I love you. I care about you. There is no reason for me to send this to you apart from I think it will make you laugh. And I want to make you laugh. And then there's been like loads of people in my life that have been like there for the time and the place. I found that moving away quite a distance from almost everything that I knew really showed who these friendships were. At first, when I moved away, I would regularly say to people, hey, I'm coming back this day. It would be really nice to see you. And I have to say, the majority of people wouldn't go out of their normal lives to see me. And that's okay. It just means that there's no friendship there. And I look back on our times together with happy memories, and I just moved on. And I keep those people that I need to keep close. We know each other. We have taken the time to know each other. I know your tone, whether it's in written message or voice. I can tell if something's wrong, and I will suss out how to be there for you. And I get the same in return. I think it's maybe one of the saddest downfalls of this capitalistic system of run, 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 run. Keep on going, don't stop. Is that you don't have time to stop for friends. And they move on. They go. They disappear. And we suffer loneliness. Time is of the essence. We need time. We need time to rest. We need time for ourselves. We need time for others. There is so much stolen from us these days. And we really, really have to make the effort to not allow our friendships to disappear. I hope that you've enjoyed listening to Mother of Mammals podcast. I'd appreciate it if you take a few moments to leave a review and subscribe to my show so that the episodes can come directly to you. Thanks for listening.